Unchurned is presented by UpdateAI.
But for somebody like me who has zero technical aptitude when it comes to like building, I have no engineering, no development background, to bring something like that from my head to like be able to see it as a product, I like had a super geek out fast, but it was really cool.
That's cool. Well, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing by just diving in and figuring it out and playing around with it, because many people aren't doing that. And I think those laggards are the ones that are at most risk. I mean, is it excitement or anxiety that has driven you to go all in on learning about AI? Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Unchurned. It's myself, Josh Schachter, here with my co-host, Kristi Faltorusso. Kristi, hi. They can't see you. They can't hear you waving, but
yes, they can. They absolutely can hear me waving.
Okay. The energy you're bringing to the table.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Josh, this is the last time that we'll record before you're a married man.
Well, yes and no. So,
well, the last time I'll record with you.
Well, I'm actually already a married man. I'm not wearing my wedding ring, ironically, but I did technically get married. Fine. Yes, at City Hall on Friday, last Friday. Did I send you the photos?
No, you didn't send me. See, this is where it's like I really doubt our friendship.
Yeah, you weren't in the inner circle, but you were invited to all the inner circle things on Friday.
I was. So. I do appreciate the invites. Yeah. But you know me, coming to the city on a Friday and doing things like that, that's tough.
I know. It's that bridge and tunnel divide, Kristi. New York City, Long Island. So we got married at City Hall. So how's this for some like New York City marriage unique things that you won't get anywhere else?
All right, let's go. What do you got?
So we had a photographer at the wedding, and I had him take a photo of us. Instead of like exchanging pieces of cake, bites of cake after, the ceremony, we went to a Sabrett hot dog stand right afterwards. And it was the best $8 I've ever spent. We got 2 hot dogs, and we've got a great photo of us exchanging hot dog bites as our first taste.
I mean, that is iconic New York.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's nothing better than a dirty water dog. I love that for you guys.
And it was dirty water. I don't think I'd ever had them, actually, to be honest with you. And
what?
And it was street meat, right? You're not supposed to eat street meat, but like we all know this. It's rule number 1.
Well, no, you're not supposed to eat street meat before like 12 a.m. Right. But fair. Anything after 12 a.m. is like fair game. Like 12 to 4 a.m. is street meat. Like that's appropriate time.
Fine. To be fair, this was 12 p.m., right? So definitely you're not supposed to eat street meat.
Right. So yeah, you're not supposed to eat questionable food when the light's out.
Yeah. But I was a little bit even more disturbed than I had thought I would be, because I thought the Sabrett hot dog is actually a pretty decent New York hot dog. It's up there with like Nathan's and it's not Hebrew National quality, but it's, it's and by the way, that's not a Zionist comment, but it's up there. But it did not look like a Sabrett hot dog. It was pencil thin, and it had a grayish tone to it. And I was really disturbed. I had one bite. I did swallow, but I had one bite of the hot dog. Jess did not. She wasn't even going to go there. And anyways, but it was worth the picture. And so now we're married, and onward and upward. And you're coming to the official ceremony and reception in London in 2 weeks. And I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Yeah. Apparently the only time Anthony and I take a trip together is to go to somebody's wedding. That's what I've come to realize is like, we don't travel at all. And so the last couple of trips that we've taken have been for out of town weddings.
Well, hopefully this is the only time I can help you in that regard.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so.
Yeah. And then the second photo we took was right in front of City Hall and in front of all the paparazzi for P. Diddy's trial, which was at the courthouse next door. This is a very iconic New York themed wedding. Like you can't get this anywhere else.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, yes, please send me the photos. I'm actually having a little FOMO right now. So please get those over as quickly as possible. And I'm sure Jess had a very specific outfit and dress for that.
Yeah, we'll save that for the other episode.
Okay, great. I can't wait to see the photos.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
But no, I thought you were going to say this is our last episode before our little summer break here. We're going to go on a summer break and we'll come back TBD and go from there. So this is you and I kind of piecing out to all of our 5 followers here. Yeah.
I mean, my mom knew that this was going to be our last episode. So the other 4 people, though, like this is going to be a nice way for us to just send them off for the summer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, very good.
So that's the highs have been very high. and I want to ask about you shortly. But you're more glued to LinkedIn than I am these days. But you probably saw this a few hours ago. I just saw it 5 minutes ago, and I'm a little bit shaken by it. And I do want to talk about it.
You're going to tell me about Planhat, right?
Yes, go. You can tell everybody.
Yeah. So, Keva, who's the CEO at Planhat. So Planhat, if you're not familiar with them, they are a customer success platform. They play in the same space as us at Client Success and Gains, Tango, Cataly, Vitalist, all of them. Unfortunately, their CCO passed away last Wednesday. He was 42 years old and he had a heart attack. Unfortunately,
is that what
leaves
happened?
Behind his wife and his 2 daughters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris Register.
I mean, so unexpected and so sad.
Did you know Chris? No.
I didn't know him personally. No, I it's not to say that we didn't cross paths at some point. But I don't believe that we had obviously any deep relationship there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd gotten to know him a few times. We'd had a couple of one-on-ones. I mean, such really nice guy, really, really sharp guy from what I knew. He was the CCO of Planhat. He was Kave's number 2. I mean,
I read the letter in the post there, and it talks about like their 20-year relationship. Yeah. So it sounds like they go back pretty far. And it was it was a beautiful note that he had left, and a beautiful call to action of like sharing stories of him and, people's memories of him. But yeah, it sounds like that's a big loss for the organization. And, interestingly enough, I do believe that their CRO recently made a move and had left also. So, I mean, for Keva, I mean, like he's losing his CRO, his CCO, kind of all within weeks of each other, which is, I'm sure they're navigating a lot over there at Planhat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you said, our hearts and thoughts go out to all of Planhat. Those guys, I know Planhat is a very, very tight group. Like they are more so than I've seen actually in any other company. I had the opportunity to go to their Planhat Open a few years ago, and they are all like family out there. So I know they're really feeling this loss. And of course, like my biggest prayers and condolences to his family, to his wife and his kids. It's a big loss to the community. So
absolutely, it's really sad. I honestly, like I said, the letter was beautiful. I'd encourage anybody who didn't come across this to go head over to Keva's page on LinkedIn and go read his post. It was a beautiful tribute to Chris. So I think everyone in our community should take a few minutes to go read that and recognize him.
Yeah. All right. I'd say we'd have a moment of silence, but I don't think Charlie in the background is going to go for that, Kristi.
I keep muting myself. It is definitely, I'm going to blame a UPS FedEx situation that I can't see something happening downstairs, but no, she's not here for silence.
All right. So what do you got going on? What's new in your world?
Okay. So Josh, I just came off of a very interesting weekend. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is just like educate myself and like go all in on AI. And like I am doing like micro learning. I am taking any certifications that I can and going through any courses like like everybody that has a free one, I'm kind of going through. Like right now I'm in the midst of AWS is offering one through their kind of skill builder program. And it's like the foundations of prompt engineering. So like I'm going through that one now, but like I've been really just trying to immerse myself in AI, not only from like a practical, like what are the use cases and like what can we do with the tools that are readily available to us at no cost so I can kind of tinker and play. Then also, how do I just like really formally educate myself? How do I learn the language of it and really understand how to do it and do it well and approach it very thoughtfully? So I've been spending a ton of time on that. And like any downtime I have, I'm like playing YouTube videos over here to the side while I'm doing my work. So I'm giving a little break to my reality TV binging and trying to educate myself a bit. But Lovable had a full weekend this weekend of like build for free.
Really?
And so I have a subscription to Lovable and I've been like paying for it. It's again, nominal cost, whatever. But they had a free weekend of like no credits, no limits, build. And so I spent an ungodly
on the weekend in the middle of the summer when nobody's actually going to be using it. But yes.
And Father's Day too, which I was like, I lost all of Sunday in the midst of building because I was like, oh, well, got to host the family. Right. But it was like super cool to just see the power of some of these things. And what I really love about these tools is like, if you can visualize something, you can build it now. And how disruptive that really is to every product that's on the market right now. I mean, some of the things that I brought to life in minutes. I'm sitting here like scratching my head going, oh my God, this would have taken some organizations years to build these products. And I'm pretty sure I did a pretty good job of getting somewhere close in 30 minutes.
Okay. So what did you bring to life?
I'm not telling
what do you.
mean?
Well, okay. Then I assume it's a like prioritization of Netflix shows to watch this month. If you're not.
Oh my gosh, no, but that is definitely now something I think I should be building. There is probably an app out there that I need to develop for shows. And like, if you've watched it and if you've rated and how do you like pool your community to recommend shows? Like I would definitely love a community based.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Television
but what did you build? What
app.
did you, so this is Kristi's hobby stuff here. That this is not necessarily like.
Well, I really can't tell you what I built because I think what I built is actually really cool. And I want to maybe continue to build on this idea.
Okay.
So the thing I built, I am actually pretty impressed with what I built. And I do think it would be something that our community could benefit from. But something else I did build was that and like I said, I was doing this all weekend. So I built a few things. The second thing that I built that I am willing to talk about is, so I love using Trello.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the Trello cards and like the framework and like using it for certain projects that I'm working on. But there are certain elements of it that I feel like it falls short for me. So I built what I would want that has like a Trello component with like a Salesforce component with like a reporting view. And like I brought to life this platform that actually gives me the ability to understand projects that are in flow and like what I'm doing and kind of filtering and prioritizing different things based on certain custom fields that I had added. But then when you log in, I have like an account view. And then when you log in further, it gave me like Trello cards that I could also collaborate with folks on.
Wow. And you did that all in Lovable.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Is it connected to a database? I know they have like
I haven't I haven't connected it to anything yet because I just wanted to build it to see like functionally like is it doing these things? I mean, even from like, okay, I don't want you to open up a new window. I want you to expand from the right side. Yeah. So that way I just like brings me like everything, like the UI of it. So cool. I like formatted my colors and I'm like upload these icons and put these logos in there. And it was so cool. But for somebody like me who has zero technical aptitude when it comes to like building, I have no engineering, no development background, to bring something like that from my head to like be able to see it as a product, I like had a super geek out fast. Like I'm sitting there with Anthony in bed. I'm like, look what I built. And like, you know, he's not impressed, but it was really cool.
That's cool. Well, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing by just diving in and figuring it out and playing around with it, because many people aren't doing that. And I think those laggards are the ones that are at most risk. I mean, what is it? Is it excitement or anxiety that has driven you to go all in on learning about AI?
Hey, everybody, it's Josh. Ever wonder what your team's missing in customer calls? UpdateAI doesn't just take notes. It captures the moments that matter. It auto-builds account plans, spots risk and upsell signals, and surfaces the themes your execs actually ask for. It's what top revenue teams are using to stay ahead. Message me at josh@update.ai. I'll show you how it works.
I think excitement. Okay. Like it's been so long since I felt that there was something happening in our ecosystem that I could go all, like something that I really didn't know, right? Like think about it, like my customer success journey, sure, early on, it was like learn, things I didn't know. And now I kind of feel like I hit a plateau. By no means do I think I know everything there is to know about customer success. Not what I'm saying, but there hasn't been this like big shift to need to learn something new, to really invest time in to something like where I think about it through the lens of mastery. Yep. And so for the first time in a long time, I'm excited about learning. I'm excited about growing new skills and being able to solve new problems. And so for me now, I've kind of gone back and I've looked through like all of my newsletters that I write and publish for like my own stuff and like LinkedIn posts that I've written previously. And now I'm looking at them through the lens of AI, right? So every problem that I had solved manually, every creative workaround that I've done, every Google site that I have built in place of a portal, can I now do something differently using AI? And then if I could, what is the way that I would imagine it in ways that like have no limits?
So what I'd like to see you build, and this is based on a podcast I was listening to this weekend. Jeff, I'm going to botch his last name, so I'm not even going to say it, but Jeff, he's partner founder of Flybridge Venture Partners. They're AI kind of focused, like seed Series A VC based on the Northeast. He's also a professor at Harvard Business School. Really sharp guy. And in the podcast, he was talking about how he's taken like all his lectures over whatever, 20, 30 years and all the blog articles he's written and all this. And he's basically created a bot to scale his office hours to his MBA students because he doesn't have time. Right. So for 1 a.m. emails or whatever, like, hey, professor, what do you think about this? What about this? And so he just built a chatbot based office hour, digital twin of himself based on all the content. So you should really do the same because you have a lot of content.
I love that. Well, what I did is, so I've been really good about creating my own GPTs. I haven't made any of them public because the way I'm using them to scale me.
Yeah.
Scale my work and then like use it externally as opposed to me making that accessible externally. So that's an interesting use case. But like I've built like 5 GPTs that I use on a regular basis that I think are so cool, but very similar to what he did is I uploaded all of my templates, all of my resources, all of the guides, my website, all of my written content, right? Like just said, here's all of my ideas, my concepts, my philosophies over the years to kind of feed that engine and then use it. And I've got really creative prompts through the GPTs that like the outputs are so
okay. So how did you do that? Because
cool.
Actually, you know what? I've done like a really like hasty version of that. I've wanted to do that with a few things. I've wanted to upload all of the Unchurned episode transcripts. I've wanted to, all these things. And honestly, it just takes time and I've never really gotten around to it, which is a really poor excuse and something I'm like advocating for people to dive into AI, themselves. And here I am. But like how did you actually do that? Like it was on ChatGPT, I take it, and did it take a long time? And like, what was the process?
Well, I mean, listen, it's iterative. So, I mean, it doesn't take long to get these things stood up, but I think you need to be very intentional about like, what is it that you're solving with the GPT? So like, I'll give you one, for instance. One of the ones that I built is like basically using all of my frameworks around certain things that I might go analyze around a customer success program. And I've got all of my philosophies and all of my things and all the milestones and journeys and how I basically think about it and how I would audit against it. And so I uploaded all of my content to kind of feed that. I gave it all of the frameworks of how I do the things, what the outputs would look like. And I just was very prescriptive in like exactly what I'd want it to do, how I want to do it, how I think of scoring and rating. But I had built all of this stuff already. It's stuff I had been doing manually. Yeah. So I had all of it. So I basically fed it samples. So it already knew how I think, how I score, how I do. And I was able to create it so that the GPT prompt kind of experience is such that it's asking for, it follows my guide of like questions, right? Like, so it'll prompt me to answer questions. Mm-hmm. And then as I complete the questions, it then starts to bring all of this stuff together to then give like this full comprehensive report. Yeah. And it looks and feels exactly like the ones I would have done manually. So I've been doing a couple of these as samples to see, okay, if I use this, how good is the quality of the output? Josh, it's spot on.
Yeah.
It's spot on.
Yeah.
And it's just like written so much better than I would have written it myself.
It's gotten really good.
It's really, really good. And
so wait, what's the biggest use case?
So much,
what's like the top job to be done that you're using those GPTs for?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have another fun. Well, oh my God, I don't want to divulge all of my stuff. So there's like a bunch of stuff. Like, listen, if this wasn't like a very public podcast and you were just asking me as friends,
Kristi,
I would
the
tell you all of them. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna put a hat on for a second and just say like, right. I can't share all of them, but I will say to anybody, if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, and first of all, let's preface it by saying, if you don't, you're silly. It's the best $20 you'll spend a month. Yeah. And even if you upgrade to the pro or like whatever the next level is, best $60 you spend a month. If you need a little bit more security, you will get 10x that investment. Just going to start there. So if you're not paying for it, you're crazy. Don't get a latte for 2 weeks and go get this.
For 2 weeks or 3 days?
The second thing I will say is like, fine. I mean, I don't know. Like I don't get a lot of coffee takeout. I get my 7-Eleven. So it takes me a lot of 7-Eleven coffees to add up $20. You need to start playing with this because the power of these things, like just think about it as anything that you do repetitively, anything you have to do more than once, that is a heavy lift. You can create a GPT around it, even if it's a process, right? Like you can go and it's going to facilitate the execution of these things really, really well. Yeah. And you can iterate on it. So I've also gone back and I keep adding to it and I keep feeding to it and I keep getting new ideas and new material and I just keep building it. And the more I put in, the smarter the output is. So it's just one of those crazy things where I'm going to say, if you're just not investing any amount of time, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. If you did 10 minutes a day, you're going going to get to over an hour a week. That's like real time. It's going to pay off. It's the folks that are sitting here consuming the information, but not actually trying and playing with it. I feel like you guys are at a huge disadvantage. And even if you're reading about it, but you're not actually using it and like building with it, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So like I said, I've got like this two-pronged approach here where I'm like, I will invest in the learning. I'm going to watch all these courses. I mean, the amount of stuff that's on, I have a short attention span. TikTok, the amount of AI content on TikTok is amazing. I'm following some brilliant people and I love it because it's 10-minute videos or less, and I save them and I take notes and I'm consuming it in micro learning, as I like to think about it. And then the flip side is if I do have, we'll say 20 to 45 minutes, I'm going to go watch a YouTube video because those are going to be a little bit more lengthy and I'm going to get a side by side. I've gotten exposure to new tech, new tools, new ways and concepts of thinking about things. It is crazy what people are doing out there. And I feel like, especially if we live in our little customer success bubble, you're only hearing what other CS professionals are doing. Yeah. And I don't think that we are on the cutting edge of AI. No. Sorry, no offense.
No. The key word is investment, right? You're investing your time and you're smart enough to see that this is an investment that's going to pay off X-fold in the future. It's tough for people. Again, like I just use myself as an example. Today's a busy day. I'm back to back on meetings. I don't want to put 15 minutes into compiling all those URLs and putting them to a shared folder and, the GPT, right? But like you have the discipline of that. I mean, it's the same reason that you get up at like 4:30 in the morning to go work out, right? Like you've got good discipline and hygiene and you see the future of these things and the benefits that it will pay off. So kudos to you on that. There was another thought buried within that kindness that I was bestowing upon you. I'm also hearing for you're telling people to not stop following you on LinkedIn and spend that 5-10 minutes a day in investing their time. And
no. Go engage with my content and then go, right? Because an engagement takes like less than a minute. You can go like my post, maybe even drop a little like a repost or a share or a comment, and that's going to take less than 5 minutes. Then use the rest of your time to go do this micro learning.
Like your posts that are written by ChatGPT. But in any case.
They are not written by ChatGPT. Go read my stories. They're cleaned, maybe.
I was listening to another podcast this weekend. I guess this was a podcast weekend for me. And it was Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, and a couple other CEOs that were talking to graduating students and answering their questions and anxiety around, AI. And a lot of it was just kind of just high level crappy responses. But the one thing that did sink into me was younger people that are now graduating, now entering the workforce. They're at a disadvantage for sure because AI can do a lot of the entry level type stuff. But where they are absolutely at an advantage is being AI native, that they know this and they can invest this stuff and know this stuff like the back of their hands. And folks that are a little bit longer in the tooth, like you and I and others, right, may not be as motivated. You are, but many aren't. And so I'm just saying that as additional encouragement for folks that are out there that are excited about AI. I'd recommend being scared of AI and using that as a forcing function to get yourself motivated to go in there and learn about it. Because if you don't, then I guarantee some 25-year-old out there that grew up in the world of AI will just kind of completely, just take over and be leaps ahead of you in a few years and how they can use the tooling. I know you got to go, Kristi. I see you in the corner of your eye.
I do, Josh.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna wrap this up. It's been a great season. I don't know what number season this is. It might have been 3, but
it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm looking forward to the future together, and we'll see everybody back in a few weeks.
Bye, everyone. Josh, I'll see you in London.
Bye.